Good evening, kids. Dominic Izzo, Cop Talk Live. It's Friday. We're going on patrol here. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel or to the content, I'm a retired police officer from out here in the great state of Illinois. Fucking toilet and a half. About 20 minutes outside of Chicago. I'm leaving this dump. And we go live. We're going to start going live on Fridays. We're going to start going on patrol live on Fridays with you guys. But we do police content. I'm pro-police. I hate bad cops. I do not back the blue because I think that the entire profession is in the shitter every single day. More and more, we're seeing proof of it, and we need to change it. So go over to coptalklive.org. Go ahead and subscribe to our newsletter where you won't get spammed, but you will get absolutely inundated with information on how to wind up changing cop culture. There's only a couple things I ask you to do. Number one, go over it on YouTube and help the people who I actually give a shit about, help their content grow. Because there's other people out there who are like-minded in the profession who actually see integrity is important to them, and they want to, like Copville, who acknowledges Izzo is right. Go to Copville OG over on YouTube. Let's help this gentleman, his podcast grow. Mike, we need to get his content up big time. That's Copville OG over on YouTube. I know people like Steve, you awesome self-proclaimed heroes, are subscribing. And over on the anti-hero, their anti-hero podcast is highfalutin. It's the anti-hero broadcast. Oh, the boys over at Anti-Hero are too good for the room, but make sure you go ahead and give them a subscription and follow them. Let me see you guys over in the chat. Steve Ritchie, what's going on? Pete, Rachel, CHAG, I can't even, what's going on, dude? Again, yeah, I don't go live on Fridays, so this is going to be throwing you guys off for a little bit, but guess what? We're going live on Fridays now. I want to look at Sean Paul Reyes, Long Island Islet, put up a video, and I guess this is a throwback, he says. I'm astonished. Not just astonished. I'm like flabbergasted to a level of incomprehension. So where, how are you cops? And this is just a legitimate question for any active police officer. No, this is a two-part question. For active cops on two sides of this. Number one, do you understand what the First Amendment is? Now, admittingly so, there was a time when I didn't know what you could or couldn't do, right? And I use this story all the time. I went to a use of force instructor class. It was a class, 40-hour class that gave me the certification through NEMERT in order to, write lessons plans, teach use of force scenarios. Defensive tactics is one thing, but I won the use of force certification. And the first day, there's like 40 of us in the class, typical NEMERT class, we're all patrol. We vary in rank from patrol, which I was, to sergeants and lieutenants. And the instructor sits there and he says, show of hands, how many of you have ever said, shut your mouth or you're about to go to jail? Every one of us, man. Hey, that's me. Greatest threat in the planet. He goes, congratulations. If any of you ever followed through on that and actually were criminally prosecuted and convicted, you spend 2 years mandatory in federal prison for violating somebody's First Amendment rights. And I went, holy shit. Now, I never did it because everybody, you say, shut the fuck up or you're going to jail. Everyone shuts up. But if you happen to put your handcuffs on after it, you go to a crime scene, guy shoots his wife, and he's like, yeah, this bitch had it coming. You're like, dude, shut up. You're trying to deal with the screaming dogs, the barking kids, the macaroni and cheese with hot dogs in it that's still on the stove, burning, stinking up the place. And he's hovering over her, gun in his hand. He goes, man, I shot her. I couldn't take it anymore. Here, arrest me. I'm gonna make a statement. You go, dude, shut the fuck up or you're about to go in jail. And he goes, yeah, but I said, and then you put the handcuffs on him. I mean, technically that's fruit of the poisonous tree. Because at that point, didn't you just violate his First Amendment right, take him to jail, and then you go, your defense attorney goes, hey, officer, did you arrest my client because you had probable cause that he committed a murder and killed his wife? Or did you arrest my client because you told him not to say anything, and then he said, or he's going to jail, then he said something, then you arrested him because we have it on your body camera? Oh, shit. So my two-part question is, number one, for you cops who are still, it's 2025, and we don't have that much longer in 2025. It's end of October. 2025 is here. Sean Paul Reyes should be out of a job. All of these people who are First Amendment auditors on social media should be out of a job. It's like, it blows me away that their window is still extended to, man, I'm not running out of content here. It's insane. The other part is, where are you active cops? You know, those of you who do slide in my DMs and you agree with me, oh, brother, it's embarrassing, brother, and yeah, this guy's a slob, brother, and this guy's in our department, this brother. Where are you guys actually on your departments saying, hey, yeah, here's what's going to happen. You're going to go home. You're going to read the First Amendment until you can memorize it and repeat it to me verbatim. And then you can create a scenario to where you come back to patrol tomorrow and explain to me what somebody's First Amendment right is. Or I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And if you go crying to command staff, I'll take my suspension and I'll beat the shit out of you again. Where are you guys at? Because trust me, I understand how, let me just say this. I understand how command staff protects the scumbags on the departments. They protect the broads that are sleeping with other command staff that seem to get whatever they want. They protect the cops that are just for some strange reason. You have no idea why they're still employed. They should have been bounced by FTO, and they're going to get somebody killed, but they're there, and they go after you. I get it. Which is worse? You guys actually taking matters into your own hands, saying, fuck the union, fuck command staff. I need to start classically conditioning my coworker until they understand what the Constitution is, or they quit, or citizens doing it for you. Which would you rather deal with? I'm hoping you guys actually get your heads out of your asses. Let's take a look at this. Police lieutenant and sergeant embarrass their departments. These are supervisors. This can't be right. This can't be right. Sean Paul, man, you got to be wrong on this one. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a listen here.
Can't take pictures of the inside of those cars because that's private property, and by doing such, you are trespassing into that private property.
That's ridiculous.
I'm going to ask you to stop recording. I'm going to ask you to leave, and if you refuse to do that, then we'll take it up from the stuff from here.
What you're trying to do is violate my constitutional rights, and I'm not going to let that happen here today.
All right, Sean Paul Reyes, Long Island Audit. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. I mean, the guy literally is out there and putting himself at risk, getting arrested for shit that's amazing that I can't believe with. And you guys got balls. His balls are huge, and it's insane, these cops. And to be honest, if he didn't have a camera, if he didn't have a cameraman backing him up, I do think that in like the Brian Fahey case, Sean Paul would have been dead. He would have been shot by that psychotic cop, and I don't think he's the only one in America who would have taken a shot at Sean Paul. So.
We're back again with another installment of Throwback Thursday. A sergeant and lieutenant from the South Haven Police Department in Mississippi absolutely embarrassed their department. Hit the like button and share this video to expose them to the world, because we all sadly know that's the only accountability they'll get. Let's get into it.
What's going on, man?
Hey, how are you? Good.
Sonny Coke, South Haven Police Department. What can we help you with?
I love that whole thing when you guys walk up. Hey, yo, police department. It's like, maybe I was guilty. No, I don't think I was guilty of it. I actually had the privilege of being a bartender before I was a cop, so it actually taught me service skills. It taught me skills on how to actually speak to people. I was in retail before I became a cop, so the concept was, if you had a bad experience at my store or at my bar, I didn't get paid. So when I had the Johnny Spacone jackoffs with their gumads, who were all trying to be tough Dago wannabes, and anyone who's a bartender knows that, the bullshit you put up with, you still had to swallow and go, man, I'm gonna fucking kick this guy's ass. Hey, what's going on, guy? What do you need, sir? I had to make you look like you were a demigod in front of the broad you were with, just so you would leave me a big fat tip, because you weren't tipping me, you were tipping to impress her, is what you were doing. If I gave you a shitty time, well, I'm going to lose my job or not make any money. So I came into law enforcement with service skills. I knew how to do it. There's a difference. Hey, I'm Officer Izzo with so-and-so police department versus, hey, how are you? And we didn't really start. It wasn't until my last department. I never identified what police department I was on any stop. It wasn't, hi, I'm Officer Izzo with the so-and-so police department. That was much later on. They started doing it. Whenever we walked up on traffic stops or whatever it was, hey, how are you? Yeah, because you knew I'm in uniform. It's middle of the day, middle of the night. If you're dealing with me, I'm a police officer. You know, we didn't have too many people impersonating cops, but the concept of you guys just flowering through your identity without being a human being off, it just says you're annoyed off the bat. I don't care if you're annoyed. You get paid. And many of you get paid an exorbitant amount of money to put up with annoying people. Fucking love your job, dude. Love it. Hey, how are you? I'm Officer Izzo with the Acme Police Department. What's going on? Have some integrity how you wind up dealing with people. I don't care if it's 2 minutes before your shift is up and your wife is at home jocking Jerome because you don't pay enough attention to her. Do your job the right fucking way. That's what you get paid for. You're a public servant.
No.
Your name is Sergeant?
I'm Lieutenant Cook with the South Haven Police Department.
And your name, Sergeant?
What bag of marbles is in his mouth? He's a lieutenant. Let me hear him again.
No.
No.
Your name is Sergeant?
I'm Lieutenant Cook with the South Haven Police Department.
South Haven Police Department. See, I'm Lieutenant so-and-so with the South Haven Police Department. How are you? Again, we need, one of the biggest things that they didn't teach in the academy is literally conversation skills. And something that's even worse right now is the generation that went through the lockdowns where not only is everybody glued to their phone now. I was actually talking to my missus last night on the concept of my generation had to go to girls to ask them out to deal with rejection, which meant that we always saved it. In high school, you saved asking the girl out until 8th period. You don't want to do it earlier than that because if she rejects you, you got to sit in that shame and embarrassment from 5th, 6th, lunch, all the way till you're let out. So you go up when lockers are emptying and you go, hey, would you like to do something this weekend? And when she laughs in your face with the girls around her, personal experience happened, it absolutely happened many times. You walked away going, holy shit, that sucked. But man, I had the balls to ask, the hot girl out in school, and I could put that feather in my cap. It was great. And you dealt with the flood of emotions, the adrenaline and the nervousness before you did it, the rejection afterwards. Today, what is it? Phone. You up? You want to come over? There is no human interaction. You progress that to social media where tone and tonality via text is gone and the interhuman personality skills for conversation are gone. Then the generation who suffered from work with the lockdowns by being on Zooms, there's no people skills. None. We need to teach people skills in academy classes and get people role-playing until they understand how the fuck to pick up nonverbal cues, how to talk to people, how to exercise tonality to get a point across without being condescending jagoffs, like Fridays with Frank. We need those skills back is what we need.
And your name, Sergeant?
Jeffy.
Thank you.
I just got a call saying you're kind of walking around, like taking photos of people's tags and in their cars and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, I'm a journalist. I was just gathering content for a story. I'm taking pictures of like the different license plates and stuff.
So, taking personal license plates and government tags, or?
Well, I don't know what's the difference between personal and government. Some of them say,
one doesn't.
well, one of them over here says law enforcement on it, so I don't know. You know what I
Are
mean?
you from Mississippi, or?
Oh, I'm not from the area. No.
Where are you from?
I don't want to answer that. Don't want to answer that.
Now, I understand a lot of you have a problem with the fact that Sean's baiting people. Sean Paul's right. Yeah, he is. That's getting content, right? He literally doesn't have to say a word. There is nothing he has to say. How are you? Great to see you. Great. Are you filming? I don't answer questions. It all goes back to, I can't stand the whole reasonable, articulable suspicion of committing a crime. That's like not good enough in my book. If you do not have probable cause, hard probable cause, guys, you're looking at screwing over your career. Here's a guy filming, and everybody and their mother has a video camera in their phone. It's how the world works now. If you're as a cop and you've seen countless YouTube channels filming people, you already know what you're getting involved in. Your department should have briefed you this by now. I can't imagine a single department in the United States not saying, be cognizant of First Amendment auditors that are going to bait you into content. You walk up, there's no two on one. Well, Sean Paul's a big guy, 6'3". Do you really need 2-on-1? No, because you're setting the tone that you're already in fear for your safety. Don't. It's the middle of the afternoon. How are you? Hey, I'm Officer Izzo with the so-and-so police department. Listen, I got a pain in the ass calling saying that you're videoing stuff and license plates and whatnot. And to be honest, you're outside in public. There's not a damn thing I could do about it. I just want to come up and talk to you and make it look like I'm actually doing my job. She's back there in her car, Karen over there. Yeah, the one on the cell phone. Listen, I'm just gonna nod my head up and down. Do me a favor, nod your head up and down. You don't have to talk to me. I'm gonna head off now, okay? But you have a great day. You already know there's no crime. You already know. But what you're proving as cops is you're trying to create a crime. You're trying to get, ooh, Sean Paul stepped into traffic and now he's officially 11601B. Well, that's not speeding. He's impeding the roadway. I can arrest him. You're looking for something to put the bracelets on. That's it. And you can acknowledge that. Every dog is looking for a bone. But you already know what you're getting into. And right now, if you are stupid enough to take the bait as a cop, your career deserves to end. So you really, Sean Paul is doing this for content creation. That's his profession, man. I'm a capitalist. He wants to make money that way. Cops are this stupid to do it. Fucking brilliant. I have nothing but respect for that man. On the other side of the fence, how do you cops not know what these guys are doing right now? They can stand outside publicly and film. It's like literally you get up in the morning and fucking scratch your balls while breathing is a sure thing. That's what these guys are allowed to do. I don't understand how you're this stupid.
Yeah.
Who do you work for? We're journalists.
I'm independent, meaning that I work for myself. That's
you have
correct.
ID on you?
No, I don't have any ID on me, no.
You don't have any type of form of identification?
No,
anything,
no.
With a picture on it?
No.
Nothing at all?
No.
Do you have an ID out of the state?
What does it matter if I have an ID?
Because it's policy for us when we get out and speak with somebody, we identify who they are so that way we can add it to our CAD notes so that way if something happens or if somebody wants to file a complaint or whatever, it makes it easier for our bosses to know who got and spoke with.
This motherfucker just admitted it. I want you to listen to that again because we believed the same shit. My last chief, George Falenko, that was his policy. It didn't matter if you went on a barking dog call, you showed up and the dog stopped barking, get their IDs and run them. Get their IDs and run them. Now, a lot of people sit there and say, well, Israel, you just admitted you violated their constitutional rights. No, because I asked all the time, hey, do you have an ID on you by chance? And no one ever said no. I wasn't demanding. I was asking. And ignorantly enough, yeah, we were attaching CAD notes on everyone. You're in the system. If you've come up and talked to the police and you're stupid enough to go, yeah, here's my ID because you didn't do anything. I didn't do anything wrong. I took a train because I don't like to fly. Took a train out to California last month. And when I was taking the train back from Sacramento, there's two Amtrak cops. And there's a guy I'm talking to because a big line waiting for the train, California Zephyr. And there's this guy. And the cops just start making contact with him, talking to him. And I just turn. That's it. And the next thing you know, the guy's answering questions. Yeah, I'm moving up to Idaho. Yeah, I'm leaving Sacramento. And all I got is this and this, that. Then, all right, you mind to step over here for a second? Step over there. Gives him an ID. Next thing you know, patting him down. They grab his shit. They go through his fucking luggage on the platform. And that's it, walks away. He comes back and I go, did you learn your lesson? He goes, what? I go, fish only get caught when they open their mouths. Well, what do they want? He goes, no, they just wanted to know if I was carrying anything on the train and guns, drugs, are you? No. Again, well, I didn't have anything to hide, so I just said it. It doesn't make a difference. Know what your fucking rights are because these cops don't. But listen to him again, what he admits to.
Yeah, Lieutenant, I do have an ID. Okay. I don't have it on me, and I don't make it a habit. It's my policy not to identify myself.
I'm going to back it up.
Speak with somebody, we identify who they are so that way we can add it to our CAD notes so that way if something happens or if somebody wants to file a complaint or whatever, it makes it easier for our bosses to know who got and spoke with.
No, it isn't. What it is you're cataloging information to wind up going who's next. I'm going to tell you something. You have to remember something. Police chiefs need to keep their jobs. How do they keep their jobs? Well, they have to show busyness, right? You have to show that there's things going on. You don't think that once somebody gets your information and your name pops up in CAD notes that they go over, they're going to run you? You don't think they're going to run you? Now, remember, as a patrol officer, it's illegal to run somebody that you didn't have any contact with. I had actually a great detective in my first department. God, the guy was amazing, and he'd been there for 9 years before I was. Detective, all this shit. He was somebody I really admired. He got fired. And he was beloved in the department because his ex-wife started dating someone, and to make sure the guy wasn't a kid toucher around his kids, he ran his name to make sure he had no criminal history or warrants. He had no contact with him whatsoever. That was an abuse. Guy got fired for it. You don't think that brass does that? Because brass is going to fire and keep patrol accountable. Who keeps brass accountable? Who's going over what command staff does behind closed doors with their computers? You don't think they're going to generate shit on you? You're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, Lieutenant, I do have an ID. Okay. I don't have it on me, and I don't make it a habit. It's my policy not to identify myself. Okay. Unless I committed a crime, no. Or
it's not necessarily you committed a crime. Again, it's when we make contact with the public, we usually, well, I say usually, we always we always get a name, date of birth, some sort of identification for them, whether it be via citation if they've made a traffic stop, or they called us out there, or we get a call from, say, City Hall. Yeah. Says, hey, somebody's walking around out here looking suspicious, taking photos of people's cars, of their license plates, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
No, and I understand your policy completely. Right.
So that policy is, I'm going to ask you for your identification. So yeah. If you don't have it on.
You can ask. You can 100% ask anytime. You can sit there and ask, hey, I get off in 5 minutes. Do you want to go behind? There's a Dairy Queen over here. There's a dumpster there. I got a fetish for sucking cock. Can I suck your cock when I get off duty? Do you mind that? You can ask that all day long. It blows me. You can ask for ID. You can't demand it. But people don't know they can. This is another concept with the perception of reality, right? Do people feel intimidated as if they're coerced to comply with the police? Well, in this circumstance, here's the deal. You got two men, both who are in a position of leadership, sergeants, and they're flanking Sean Paul Reyes, who happens to be educated. Pretend it's you and you don't know what the law is, right? And I'm finding out more and more you guys on YouTube are more educated when it comes down to the law than 99% of the fucking police out there. It's ridiculous. Instagram, you got some catching up to do. Some of you need to stop eating paint chips. Anyways, you could be argued that you felt coerced. Yeah, I have to give up my ID. Are you free to leave? Right? And there's certain things. It's if this sergeant or this lieutenant, I don't even know if he's going to say it. I hope he does this. No, I'm not ordering it to you. You don't have to. You are under no obligation to give me your identification. I'm just asking if you give it to me. And he says no. Well, we all know it's going to happen. It's going to be a pissing match. Because as the police, we don't like losing. It's ego. It's pure ego. Our lives are 100%. And whenever it's a negative shit, I'll always throw myself in the mix. When it's positive stuff, that's you guys. I'm not a cop anymore. But I will tell you, our roles as cops, we're ego. We fucking do not like to lose ever. And if you challenge me, I'm the police. You know, I told Sean Paul in a podcast we did about 2 months ago. I said, it's like my attitude. I'm 5'7", you're 6'3". Guarantee. Back when I was a cop, if I'm going to stop you, motherfucker, you're bending to my will. That's my mindset. I refuse to not acknowledge that I had the same mentality when I wore that badge.
On you, I need to get your name, date of birth then.
My policy is I don't identify myself unless you suspect me.
I'm going to ask you to stop recording. I'm going to ask you to leave. And if you refuse to do that, then we'll take it up from the stuff from here. And
why would you stop me from recording?
Because there's no need for you to be out here then. You're on.
So you're saying because I won't.
I'm asking you to leave. Is what I'm asking you.
Because I won't identify myself to you. You're saying that I cannot engage in my constitutionally protected activity. That's what you're saying.
Oh, there's a third one. Look at this. Look at half a biscuit can Betty back here. Her hands in her pockets. Oh my God! Check. Here's a bigger picture. Here she comes waddling up. Yeah, another female in law enforcement. Listen, understand something. I'm actively working on losing weight because I am a fat piece of shit and I know it and I can't stand it. LT, having tattoos on your forearms, doesn't really make you look tough when your waist is 2 axe handles wide, right? So we got Fat Cop 1. We got, I don't know what this guy's deal is too. And then the Weeble that wobbles in the background 3. Why do we need 3 cops for a just contact, right? A citizen complaint. And 90% of citizen complaints are nosy, bullshit people who just feel that they have to get involved. That's it. And if this is on government property, which should be public property, that means that it was probably a trustee or the mayor Just knows it because they're the mayor, right? They're the mayor. The new mayor of my last town. Holy shit! The guy thinks that it's literally his town. These people are diseased. The trustees and the mayors, they're so fucking delusional. They think that their level of importance supersedes God. It's amazing. So we have 3. Now we have 3. We can say it's intimidation. I'm out filming. My constitutional right. I have every right to be out here, middle of the day. It's a gorgeous day. My phone can pick up, the lens can pick up any area I want. And I see no restrictive signs that says do not enter. Don't come this way, private property. So I'm going to walk right up to whatever. If you've got the transparent windows of a squad car, guess what? I can look in there. Anywhere my human eye can see and that camera can pick up, I have every fucking lawful right to do what I want and videotape that.
Is what I'm asking.
But I have every right to be here, no?
Well, I have every right to ask you for your ID, but you won't give me that. So it's tit for tat.
But it's not a tit for tat. Okay. That's not very professional of you.
What was your name?
That's not very professional, sir.
What was your name?
Sir, I told you my policy is I don't.
Okay, what is your name?
Sir, I don't give my ID unless you suspect me of committing a crime.
Okay, good deal. You cut your losses right there, brother. There you go. You cut your losses. Have a good day. You made an ass out of yourself. You look stupid. They promoted a fucking dumpster, and that's it. Cut your losses. Go. Yes, you have every right to ask. He could refuse. Every right. And I love it. Well, we're going to take it a step further. What's the step further? You're going to ask him 20 more times? And all of a sudden, I can tell you right now, this man's blood pressure rose. His ears got that like cotton feeling where all the blood was rushing in his head, and all he's doing, we called it in the academy. I can't remember what the guy's name was. I can still see him. I went to University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana Police Training Institute, class of 1871 and 2001. I can't remember the guy's name, but they all had Southern accents down there. And he goes, we call it, I'm going to get that son of a bitch. And it's like you get tunnel vision and you go into fucking rabid dog mode that wants the bone. That's where he's at. It's a pissing match. And again, you got Sean Paul, 6'3". He's got presence. You know, I think he looks like Sean Paul's got a little bit of a different skin complexion than these good old boys down here in Mississippi. So maybe they're all like, we need to get this semi-half-breed dark fella out of here. I don't know what they're like. Maybe dueling banjos plays in the background. They go home, drink moonshine, fuck their sisters. I don't know. It is what it is, but we know where your head is at.
Sir?
All right, you can have a good day. Well, the crime would be I'm asking you for something which is a lawful order.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. He's trying to go the obstruction route. Hang on. So the crime would be, he's trying to get obstruction, right? And obstruction typically is, I have a legitimate probable cause for a crime, and you refuse to ID yourself. That's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a tough one to go with obstruction. What's your name, sir? Nothing at all. Okay, well, if you committed a crime, I'm going to search your person. Because you're in custody, I'm going to find your ID and see if the ID matches the photo on there and run it. Problem solved. I'm going to eventually fingerprint you anyways, so I'll run your fingerprints through the system to see if I can come up. You simply refusing to give me your name, I can't really put that towards obstructing. It's obstructing a peace officer, right? Obstructing justice. If you're obstructing a peace officer, there's two different crimes. Obstructing a peace officer, you're obstructing me within the bounds of doing my lawful investigation. You could be by withholding your name. Or if you give me, well, your name's Dominic Izzo, and I give you, my name's Dominic Izzo, but I leave out the K at the end of my name when I give you the spelling. And instead of giving you my middle initial, I give you a different middle initial. And then I add an R to my last name, so it's Rizzo, not Izzo, and you write that down and run that. Now I'm obstructing justice because I'm attempting to defeat your investigation by giving you a false name that I want to hide the warrant that I have. This is where he's going with this. But Mr. fucking Lieutenant here is in new creative writing for when it comes to what the definition of obstructing is.
What was your name?
That's not very professional, sir.
What was your name?
Sir, I told you my policy is I don't.
Okay, what is your name?
Sir, I don't give my ID unless you suspect me of committing a crime, sir.
All right, you can have a good day. Well, the crime would be I'm asking you for something which is a lawful order, and you're failing to obey that law.
No, you need reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime that I'm committing or I'm about to commit in order to demand.
You just did by not giving me the information that I asked for.
That's not true.
Okay, I know who he is. He's one of these.
Near, 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 near. You got a pretty mouth, boy. Is this what they teach you fucks in the backwoods of Mississippi? You guys don't even know the difference between asking and ordering, and then you create the crimes. This, for those people out there who hate First Amendment auditors, do you not understand that without these fucking heroes, the amount of cops they're doing two people a favor, the citizens, by going, holy shit, this is amazing. And all you have to do is cross-reference check, right? You go and Google and you take it verbatim. This cop said it's a lawful order. Excuse me, it's a crime if you do not give him your ID when he asks for it. So put in your Google search, ask ChatGPT. If a cop asks me, and put in quotation mark, for my ID, and I don't give it them, did I break the law? And then it'll go down the list and it'll give you every scenario out there. And then Sean Paul just says reasonable articulable suspicion, and the sergeant, we don't need probable cause, we need reasonable articulable suspicion. What is the articulable suspicion? This is insane. He's also showing, my God, the lack of education on police officers. And I sat there, I heard it in 2001. We need more education, better education. 25 years later, cops still aren't getting better education. It's insane.
Just because I know the law, you know who I am.
All right.
Well, please.
One thing, if you want to look at the cars that are identifiably marked as police department.
Look at the fuck. What is this thing? I got to back this up for a second. So here's your taxpayers at work. So I don't know. Maybe she's just peering over the shoulder. She doesn't want to get involved because it'd be 3-on-1.
You need reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime that I'm committing or I'm about to.
Just watch. She's like, I don't even understand what they're saying. So she just starts waddling off again. And this thing has, oh my God, she's got chevrons on her arms. This thing is either a corporal. I think I see two. So that's a corporal because Officer Shoeing corrected me. Miranda Shoeing gave me shit that I couldn't identify what a corporal was. I knew what a corporal was. That's a corporal. Look at this thing waddle away with her hands in her pockets. You should be fucking embarrassed of yourself. You should literally look at the size of you. Now, understand something. Camera puts on about 50 pounds. As you walk away with your hands in your pockets, you're a fucking corporal. Okay. You should be shamed out of the job.
That are identifiably marked as police department.
So this camera over here says law enforcement. Is that?
That's actually a personal tag.
So why does it say? Why would they do that? Preferential treatment.
Mississippi has law enforcement.
Oh my God, she's just standing in the background. Is it lunchtime yet? I swear, you guys deserve not an ounce of respect. Not a damn ounce of respect. How much further does this have to go? Hey, listen, do you mind? Listen, I understand. You know, I get it. You're trying to expose bad cops, and fuck, if I do something shitty, I hope you put it up online too. Maybe correct my behavior. Do you need help with anything, or are you just trying to create content and that's it? Are you not going to talk? Awesome. You have a great day. Go away. Literally, pack up your shit and go away. You're on taxpayer dime. You're literally, there is no crime. If there was a crime, the two of you would have had a heart attack trying to take him into custody. But if you haven't determined, we are now 4 minutes into this interaction. If you haven't determined by now that this man has committed a crime by just standing there with his phone out, videoing shit, then go. Go. You can't detain him. You didn't walk up and say, witness said you were trying to break into cars, because even if that was the case, be like, what's your proof? Well, they said so. What's your proof? Well, they just said, do you have any video? Did she take it on video? What did she say I was doing? It's like you have the amount of bullshit, magical probable cause that cops just pull up out of their ass is amazing. And the fact that citizens believe it is insanely dangerous. So again, we need to thank these First Amendment auditors and thank that this Mississippi Police Department must have the best shocks on the planet for whatever squad car this fucking corporal drives.
Tags that actually sponsor law enforcement activities, i.e. the benevolence fund, so when a cop gets killed, their family has money that's given to them to help support them because they lost the income for
I can respect that, yeah.
That's what that tag's for.
Okay.
The only cars that you're going to be allowed to look at out in this lot.
Mr. Whispers over on YouTube. Yes, thanks, by the way. The funniest part of all this is that cops hate First Amendment auditors but also cops created First Amendment auditors. How damn well right are you?
Are ones that are clearly marked as South Haven Police Department or have a government tag, like on my unmarked unit that has a government tag. Outside of that, you cannot take pictures of those cars. You can't take pictures of the inside of those cars because that's private property. And by doing such, you are trespassing into that private property.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, I'm just telling you that's how it's going to work.
You can't trespass the eyes, and at the end of the day, if it's in public, I could see it. If you went up on a traffic stop and you're looking in somebody's, it's the plain view doctrine. It's the plain view doctrine, correct? If you could see it, are you trespassing into?
Reasonable suspicion to be out here to look at that car?
Are you when you're on a traffic stop, Lieutenant? Please, I'll let you talk. Can you let me talk? When you're at a traffic stop and you're looking in somebody's car with your flashlight, do you have any reasonable suspicion or anything? No, because it's called the plain view doctrine. Right. Anything you can see from public. Right. That's it. And if you see a drugs or a gun or a firearm from plain view,
or a green leafy-like substance that I can indicate from my training and experience to be indicative of unburnt cannabis, oh my God. The bullshit. Fucking, I keep telling you guys, law enforcement is all about how creative you are with the way they say it, articulate. How you guys glance over that word reasonable. You guys reasonable articulable suspicion. You guys glance over the word articulate all the time. You don't pay attention to that word. That word means bullshit. The reasonable suspicion you can bullshit into existence. Well, I observed Sean Paul Reyes to have his left hand in his pocket, and I saw a bulge that, due to my training and experience, I am familiar with. It looks like the butt of what would be a small caliber pistol. You go in his pocket, it's fucking just his knuckles bursting out of it. But you could articulate it. And then as I went to go in his pocket, he tensed up, indicative of the fact he was resisting and attempting to defeat my search, my lawful search. And I went to put him into custody, and he pulled away, further resisting. So you arrest him for resisting. It blows me away. It's all how you bullshit. The word articulate is synonymous with bullshit.
What's the difference in you and me?
Nothing, really.
Is it not? Because I have this on here.
Yeah.
And it's also a safety hazard for me when I'm looking at that car, whether or not somebody's hiding in that back seat with a gun or an RPG or something to do something to me.
Yeah,
you, on the other hand, have openly admitted you are a journalist out there
Correct.
getting B footage for something, but you're also doing that not on government property, not on government vehicles, but on personal vehicles.
But they're in public. They're in public.
But we have reasonable suspicion.
So you're going to go to Walmart and do the same thing? Are you going to Walmart and do the same thing?
Well, Walmart would be private property, so this is public property, sir.
I do the same thing. Hey, LT. So you need to arrest the next person that calls in. There's a dog in a car, and the windows are up, and it's 90 degrees outside, and you go and you arrest the dog owner. You need to arrest the rest of the person who called it in too, because they were on public or private property, peering into the windows of somebody's car. Fucking come on, walk your talk.
That's the difference. This is public property.
Well, I'm asking you not to.
I understand what you're asking me, sir. I
understand. Every vehicle
understand.
out here is for an officer.
I
Some of these
understand that.
public cars are people that are up here that are filing complaints, legit complaints, that have emergencies or talking to us because something happened to them that involves the law enforcement needing to be there. So now you're taking a photo of a car that may belong to somebody that doesn't have anything to do with law enforcement outside of the contact that needs to be made with them.
You guys run plates all day. Anybody who's parked in it.
Right to do that.
If I'm in Walmart, giving your example, if I'm in Walmart and I'm going inside of Walmart, I can see the plates from anywhere I can. Sir, I think you're being unreasonable.
I'm not.
You are.
I'm being very reasonable. I'm being very reasonable.
What you're trying to do is violate my constitutional rights, and I'm not going to let that happen here today.
There's no violation going here.
Okay, great.
I'd like to know what you got a card so I can see what website you're going to post this to so I can watch it later.
Oh no,
don't worry. We're all sharing it, fat boy. Don't worry. Holy shit, this is amazing. Again, you really have to wonder, right? And you got a couple of the factors that Sean Paul has for his defense is his size, right? He's a big man. So number one, he's going to be a little bit imposing. Number two, he's fucking intelligent. So he knows how to defend himself against this. Number three, he's got the camera. Think of all the people out there who they don't have an imposing persona. They don't have the knowledge and they don't have the camera. And how many people have had their lives ruined by cops like this who have just wrongfully, illegally searched, seized, arrested, and ruin the lives of people because people just don't know. And it's been going on at least 50, 60 years.
I guarantee you'll be very much aware of where it's being posted to. Okay. You guys can have a great day now.
Thanks.
Thank you. You took an oath to uphold the Constitution. You should take that seriously. I'm one of those guys. One of those guys who knows the law. Do you see how they try and make it seem?
Yeah, this absolutely blows me away. The First Amendment auditors are essential. They're essential. I'm going to see if this is more here. Let's see. Make sure you want to see the entire video on what Sean Paul's commentary is. Go to his channel.
Patriots. The reason I highlighted this particular video and threw it into this week's Throwback Thursday is to show the pure ignorance of law enforcement in our country.
No, actually, I'm going to disagree with you, Sean. It's not ignorance. It's willful manipulation. Because I'm going to tell you, this man had to test to get from patrol to sergeant. And he had to test to get from sergeant to lieutenant. He knows the Constitution. He knows what reasonable, articulable suspicion. He knows the difference between reasonable suspicion and probable cause is. He knows all of this. It's a choice. It's a fundamental choice that he's making to violate your First Amendment right, to violate your Fourth Amendment right. Because to be honest, let's talk. That was a seizure. He's got 2 cops on his flank. And both of them are in the position of having the chevrons and the bars. And then a third cop shows up, and they keep asking him the same question: "Who are you? Where's your ID?" A reasonable person would assume that they're not free to leave. So I think he needs to start suing for Fourth Amendment violations as well too. What is this? This is. Let me see this. Yeah, the phones are open. 708-982-0974. Izzo, did you see the latest video from police activity where the trooper got shot? No, I did not. I will be checking that one out. Where's my glasses? VA Outlaw. 1,000 times sounds like you're a keyboard. I don't know what you're talking about. I am not a keyboard warrior. I will eat your lunch. Scott, this is an ex-cop that is awesome. He totally gets it. I got it at the time too. But it was just, it's... You still, let me explain to you too. I went as far as I could to get the bad guy arrested without violating the Constitution, their rights, or the law. And there were some times, and it was a conscious decision. One of the moment that I made a decision about what kind of police officer I wanted to be was very early on in my career. I was on day shift. I was working the road. I was assigned to midnights, but I was working day shift. I held over for overtime in 2001, and I was behind a gang member. I could remember exactly what it was. I was eastbound on Rollins Road in Round Lake Beach. I'm passing East End, so I got the Dominics on my left, and I'm coming up on Route 83, and I knew I don't have that much time before I can't pull this guy over anymore because he's going to be leaving. He's going to be going into Gray's Lake, and I got to do whatever. And I thought to myself, I'm looking, and this was back in a time where a lot of cars didn't have tinted windows. And I'm looking going, ooh, we did not have body cameras then. We didn't even have squad car cameras on. I was driving the shitbox Caprice, and I'm like, I can pull him over for not wearing a seatbelt because I could not see that he was wearing a seatbelt. But I also couldn't not see. It was just there because it's only like 3 inches worth of material you can see. That's it. But I couldn't see it because of his headrest or something. So I went, I'm going to pull him over because I wanted to get in that car, right? I wanted to stop. I wanted the gang contact. I wanted the consent search. I wanted to practice my skills, all this shit. But I didn't light him up because I knew right there. I went, man, where do you stop? Where do you stop? If you sit there and pull them over for something you don't see, where does it stop? And that was, I don't know where that came from. That came from a complete divinity moment of just going, don't fucking do this. You will ruin who you are as a human being if you stop. And who knows? Maybe he could have had a fucking dead body in the trunk. I don't know. But I had no lawful reason to pull him over, and I was not about to ruin myself at that time for doing that. Let's see. Oh, hang on. You're calling now?
Hello.
Hi, you're live. What's going on?
Hey, out of all these videos, I just keep watching, and they're just, some of them are just too hard to watch. You know, the way these police officers just go off on citizens. I think that this culture isn't going to change at all unless it cuts to not individual, but it has to affect the whole department, because you know how like a bad apple can spoil a bunch, and I don't think that it's spoiling anything, and that just the bad ones are just gonna just slightly fall off, but they're infecting other officers.
I'll tell you what my theory is. You're right, but I'll tell you why it's not going to stop. The advent of the TikTok cop is exactly why nothing will change in law enforcement. And I'm going to get a little long-winded on this. So what they did was I am convinced that when staff and command goes, they go to staff and command school. So your sergeant gets promoted from patrol and he comes back a completely different guy that you worked with. You're like, who the hell is Joe? We were friends. And now all of a sudden you're writing me up for not shining my boots. I firmly believe that there's a part where they send you a staff and command school that teaches you how to fuck with patrol to get them to quit. You write them up for the biggest bullshit, you pressure them, you get them to quit. The reason why you want to get them to quit is because right around year 5, when somebody gets is a cop, year 5, they start going, what am I doing? And they start questioning things. And they start knowing I could push back a little bit on brass when they want me to do something. I don't need to be intimidated all the time. They don't want free thinkers. They don't want guys who are going to not arrest people for shit, milk the calls, be a little bit more compassionate, because you went out of that drone mindset. You got into year 1 and you were gung-ho. Year 3, right around year 4, you start changing and slowing down a little bit. In year 5, you go, what the fuck? So year 5 is when you get to that top tier payout, right? 5 and 7. So they go, well, we're not going to pay them anymore. We have to force them out, which kills me anytime somebody online says, you didn't do 20 years. Majority of cops don't do 20 years. Majority of them. Go look at your agency of the town you live in and find out how many cops are sworn and how many serve a full 20. You'd be surprised how many don't serve. And then all of a sudden, if you don't serve a full 20, how many pensions don't have to be paid? Our department was 23% funded with our pension, and I believe there's a certain threshold before it's illegal. So if the certain departments don't fully have funding in their pensions, you want to force people out. I think that's one aspect that they go. Now, to solve that problem, you create TikTok cops. People who come in, don't take the job seriously. They're only in it because they didn't have a voice with their social agenda before. But that uniform all of a sudden says, hey, I want to talk about my LGBT, trans, Muslim, goat fucking space alien path and journey in life. And now you'll listen to me because I got a shiny piece of metal on my thing and I'm inside of a squad car. Now you'll listen to me. Well, wait a second. You're talking about my audience on social media isn't my life. I actually have to get out of the car, write reports, take calls, follow up, do paperwork, get up on my day off and go to court, swear in and wait in that jury box for 3 hours for a judge to take his time while the no DUI doesn't show up only to extend to next month. I got to do all this shit. This job isn't for me. So they're going to leave at year 3, year 5, again, fulfilling that we don't have to pay them past that's their tier rate. And that TikTok shit also created a free marketing. It was, you never had to market before. And now all of a sudden here, I can go be the next TikTok cop. They're going to have a shit ton of people coming in, filling out those applications, only to be able to be cycled through like that over and over and over again while they have that year 1 through 3 yes man person. So to go back to your question, your statement, it'll never be fixed because they have this revolving door of drone mindseted children coming in right now who they will minimally pay. They will squeeze until there's no more juice, and then they will pressure them until they leave, and then the next people is going to come in. So this problem is never going to go away.
Okay, but I actually did a check, and there are several police departments in California that get paid nearly over $100,000.
Oh yeah, 250. Oh yeah, my gosh, yes. Oh yeah.
And one thing that I think that the law should change is that when I think a department gets sued or an officer gets sued, it should come out of that department's budget.
There should be. There should. Yes, the taxpayer.
And I guarantee you, if that happens, that there will be less and less.
So that's your responsibility. But that's so. I'm gonna put this on you. How many village hall meetings have you went to for the town you live in?
Village town meetings. I go to it every month.
So you do. You go to every. And do you ever bring something like this up? Because I'm going to tell you.
No. Because,
okay. Well, I'm going to.
Have that problem. We don't have
yes,
that problem.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yes, we do.
Every single department. I was just talking to somebody who left an agency, and we were talking about it, and one of their cops who's still active is he just got out of a second lawsuit where the complainant got paid $35,000. And when this person was FTO underneath the cop who was sued as her FTO, he flat out said, he was involved in another lawsuit, and he goes, I don't care, the department's going to pay for it. This mentality,
one cop that's ever been sued.
The mentality is that all the time. They do not fear being sued because they don't pay. If we switch that and switched it to them having to carry personal insurance like you do on your car, it'd be a different story.
No, but I mean, out of the annual police budget, like for each department, they get a certain amount, right, every year.
For what?
Don't they? From the government for I don't know,
for lawsuits
and for new cars, guns
from the state. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was never commanded. I don't know how that works, but no, you're gonna get grants and whatnot. But that's all taxpayer money. Why should that pay for lawsuits?
No, but taxpayer money does pay the lawsuits.
Yes, it
doesn't
shouldn't.
come out of the.
It should not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like for how the police has an annual budget that they get.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, well, it should come out of their budget, I think.
Why would it come out of their budget when that's taxpayer money? I disagree with you. Do you have personal insurance on your car?
Yes.
Well, okay, if you have personal insurance on your car and you get in an accident, you pay for it. Now, I know the argument is, but if you drove a fleet vehicle for a company, that company would be paying for it. Well, that's the company's money, right? So the problem is law enforcement is still paid for by the citizens. They're taxpayers. No, I don't. It should. Cops are covered by the department for when it comes down to being sued, if you will, or criminally prosecuted. You get into a shooting, you got your union rep. But a lot of cops pay a retainer every year to have another defender who actually knows, who was a cop, is now a lawyer, this and that. In Illinois, Laura Scari is one of the most famous cop lawyers out there. There's cops who are protected by their unions, but they have her on retainer every year. It's like, why? They should do the same thing with insurance. Okay, well, the department's got my back if I get in a car accident and kill a family of fucking 5, but I need to have a personal carrier pay $500 a month or $500 a year, whatever deductible, because I'm going to get sued too. I think, honestly, it's not the lawsuit that bothers me. It's the criminal charges. We need more criminal charging on police officers for shit to change.
But see, that's the thing. No matter how many criminal charges, no matter how many go to prison for whatever they did, I just noticed that it does not change. It seems like it's
because not a lot are going to prison.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, terrible.
I know. I get it. Frustrating.
All right. Well,
appreciate you. Thank you. All right. I know I owe somebody else a call. 708-982-0974. Did I miss a call? I did. Hi, you called when we were live. What's going on? We're still live.
Well, you're still live?
Yeah, we're still live. What do you got?
So I had a question for you, Dom. So I'm 19 years old, and I'm currently going to a 2-year school for law enforcement. And I was wondering if you had any tips for like the future cops here, like us Gen Zers.
What's your degree going to be in?
Police training and education. It's
Why?
a 2-year specific.
So what? Let me save you a lot. How far into it are you?
So here's the deal, though, is I'm in the state of Minnesota, and per state statute or post-board standards is they require a 2-year degree minimum in a criminal justice-related field. But what I've been thinking about, too, doing is going to the next state over, which is North Dakota, and they let you at 18 years old, and then you can just do a 3-month academy and then start working as a licensed peace officer.
Oh, I wouldn't take you fucking seriously. Why the fuck would I want an 18-year-old with 3 months in the academy showing up to my house if my wife and I are speaking a little bit loud and the neighbor thinks that we're having a fight? What the fuck do you know about life?
Not much, to be completely honest.
Yeah, no, number one, no, I honestly think you should go get some life experience before you being a cop. Number two, that degree in criminal justice is about as useless as fucking slippers on an iced over lake.
So,
it does nothing.
Yep. So Dom, with this degree though, and I need
that's Mr. Izzo.
Like
God damn it,
Mr. Izzo. My bad, sir.
Go ahead.
And so with this program, like it is like one of the most like paramilitary style schools. Like it's a cohort basically, and we have like all the different things on like defensive tactics. Like it's a lot more like different, you could say it. I mean,
here's the deal though, right? All of a sudden you decide, you get an epiphany one day and you fall in love with like, I don't know, deep sea fishing exploratory work, and you find out that you can make $750,000 for 6 months of work, and you're like, damn, I'm going to do that instead. And they go, hey, yeah, we require a degree in something else. You're stuck with a criminal justice degree. If you want to open a business, you got a criminal justice degree. If you want to go a different path, the degree in criminal justice is the most useless degree in the history of education. It applies nowhere else. If you sat there and you got like a degree in finance, that applies to law enforcement because there's financial crimes. If you got a degree in business, that applies in law enforcement for hierarchy and structure of management. I don't give a shit. Go get a phlebotomist certification or degree or whatever. It's like, yeah, I know how to wind up tying a tourniquet. Well, that'll be applied in the battlefield. Where can you apply criminal justice anywhere else in any profession in America?
I mean, I'm not really sure where. Not really. But this is like not even like a criminal justice related degree. Like it's all like straight up just law enforcement. It's not like where we're learning about the whole theories of why our government is bad. Like it's like physical fitness, use of force training. Like it's the skills in the academy, like all in one. Like it's straight up all gas, no brakes.
Why do you want to be a cop?
Honestly, working in a rural community and actually going and do shit that gets drugs off the streets and do good shit.
Okay, so pretend you're sitting in front of a board of 5 people and they just ask you that question. Why do you want to be a police officer?
Honestly, just to serve and protect in a rural community and preserve the peace.
Well, what does that mean, young man? What do you mean by serving? How do you want to serve our community?
By helping people, being there, and overall just being present, responding to calls, and working with the youth, and actually, you really, the whole make a change and change the world is obviously a very broad thing to say. But obviously, try to make that little difference,
Well, consider the fact that most of our calls are going to be very low rate. You'll probably get a call a week for service. 90% of our stuff is dependent upon you being proactive. You're going to be doing traffic stops. Do you feel that it's serving your community by pulling them over and issuing them citations?
No, not really, but you're doing some sort of preventative measure, and it at least might get a thought in their head that hey, I should probably follow the law, which is very little.
Oh, do you think they'll take you seriously being 19 years old?
Well, that's if I go to the North Dakota route, but I'm going to Minnesota where they require you to be 21 with the 2-year degree.
Hey, do you think the man who's been driving since before you were born, who's 50 years old, who's a husband. He works 2 jobs to keep his family from starving, and he's got a nagging wife at home. And do you think that you're stopping him and pulling him over and you trying to educate him on something he's been doing since before you were a tickle in your dad's balls, that he's going to take you seriously?
Not at all.
Again, why do you want to be a cop?
Honestly,
I'll give you the answer. I'll give you the answer right here. Ready? Okay. When somebody asks you, why do you want to be a cop? You flat out say, I want to improve in life on every level possible. I don't know everything. I am very inexperienced in life, and I believe that by being a police officer and having contact with the people I'm supposed to serve will fastly and vastly catapult me to a level of life experience that will put me at a level of excellence, because I will have to bring the greatest side of myself to every single call, every single day. I want to be a cop because by being a cop and serving others, I will improve who I am every single day.
Yeah.
I think you should sit back and think about it before you actually continue with your education.
No, that's pretty solid too. And this program too, and I know you shit on a lot of fat cops. Like, I'm telling you, through this program here, like, we just had to do 6 mile run, and like the passes, you have to do it in like 40 minutes.
The fuck does a 6.5 mile run in 40 minutes? What does that have to do with anything with understanding the difference between an unlawful seizure on a guy who had a bad fucking day, who tells you, fuck you, pig, I am not going to listen to you, simply because he's got a bad taste of shit, and you pull him over because he was doing 25 and a 15, and you're looking for your stats because your sergeant is on your ass saying you didn't get enough traffic tickets last month, and you go, but there's no quotas. Yeah, there is. If you don't up your numbers, we're going to boot you off of probation. What does that have to do with the 1.5 mile fucking run?
Not much, and that's why I want to work for a smaller agency too.
It's not. It's the same everywhere you go. Smaller agency, you can't hide in the numbers. Smaller agency, they know exactly who you are because you're the only man on a 2-man shift. It's like, oh shit, it's me and Sarge. That's it. Oh, I got to take all the calls. I'm down 10 reports this week because Sarge is back at the PD clipping his fucking toenails because he's got the stars, bars, stripes, blue diamonds, and clovers and can do whatever he wants. And I'm on the road because I went to a smaller agency. And oh shit, here's another call. And by the way, did you finish your reports? No, I didn't. It's Friday. Stay here and write them till you go home. It's not the same. I think you really need to reconsider things and truly know what the job is before you get to keep going. But all the best. I got to take some other calls.
All right, thank you, Dom.
No problem. That's Sir. God damn it. I am calling you guys back, for the love of God.
The kid. Hey, Dominic.
Yeah, what's going on?
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
It's doing good. Calling out of California again.
Where in California?
Southern California.
Oh, all right.
LA, man.
I'm a northern guy. I'm a northern dude.
Hey, if you're in northern, that's like living in from what I hear, that's like living in the East Coast, like Alabama, Kentucky, like real farm out there.
Yeah. What do you got? What's going on?
Anyways, you should do debates, man, because that kid is effing lying. From a 50-year-old to a 19-year-old, kid is effing lying, and he cannot say the truth because they will not let him become a cop. But in my opinion, and this is the problem with policing, in my opinion, there's 2 major factors in California. Number one, for most people, whether you're a man or a woman, they become a cop because it's the fastest and easiest path, like less than a year, and all you got to do is bust the overtime. You can get $250 effing salary, right? You're gonna get started at like $50, $60 an hour, and you can go gun ho. Number one, you're gonna be like close to that kind of money. Number two, any man that's 18 to 30 years old, the number one reason they want to become a cop is related to someone, and he tells me this himself, and I pointed out to him. He wants to effing juice. He wants to be in a shootout. He wants to be in high-speed chase. He wants to take life. It's not going to be considered red rum, right? He's not committing red rum, but he is going to kill someone that's a bad guy, a drug dealer. Supposes they want the effing juice, and that means exactly why he wants to be a cop. He wants that $250, and he wants to legally take life.
I said that I said that the other day, and I got a ton of people shitting on me on Instagram and Facebook. I've been a cop for 28 years. I've never wanted to get into a fight. Bull shit.
Well, they're lying, and my brother-in-law, because
dude, I have short man's disease. You know, I love to fight. I'm 50. I don't want to fight anymore, but that's a lie too. I was talking to, my missus the other day. I said, if there was a tournament I could find for like a seniors in Illinois, and I'm purposely not actively looking because I don't want to commit to it. But if I could find a seniors wrestling tournament, I'd be in it tomorrow. But I would I would die of a heart attack. But that part of me is like, I want to fucking throw down. And I didn't. When I was a cop, of course, you always looked to get in the heat of shit. I was very thankful I never got into a gunfight, but we went hands on all the time, and I fucking loved it. But I never celebrated it, and I never actively looked for it. But you're right, and I appreciate your call. I got to get to some other people.
No worries.
I'll take a couple more because Great British Bake Off is on, guys. I got to watch that. Come on now. I'm baking hoe. All right. 262, giving you a call back.
This is Jason.
551, giving you a call.
Dominic.
Yes, what's going on?
How are you, my friend?
Good. What do you got?
Calling from Jersey.
Hi, buddy. What do you got?
I got two things for you. First of all, I think when the cop asks you, like, I have to run your ID because I need to know who you are. The perfect response to that would be, you don't know who I am because I'm not a criminal.
I wouldn't say shit. I mean, yeah, I get what you're talking about. You're right, but I wouldn't say, I need to know who you are. Be like, oh, that's nice.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a criminal. And the second point is, the ego on these cops is incredible. I'm watching YouTube. I must have watched like 50,000 hours of YouTube. But the ego is incredible. If you don't want a cop to rip you out of the car, as soon as you come up, tell them, can I get out of the car, please? And you'll be in the car for the rest of the night.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, man. That's all I got to say on that one. But you're right. I appreciate the call.
Man, thanks.
All right, take care. All right, let me go back to 262, giving you a call back.
Hello?
Hey, sorry I missed your call. What's going on? You're still live.
Hi, Dominic. I'm sorry. Your Facebook or your Instagram Live kind of crapped out on me.
Yeah, because Instagram sucks. Instagram only goes for a certain time. We go live on the other real good platforms. Well, yeah, what do you got?
Sorry. I'm from Round Lake. I grew up in that mess.
Were you ever there when I was a cop?
Well, I grew up there from 72 to 94.
Okay, no, I was 2001 to 2019.
Okay, so I left Round Lake in 94, and I went to Kenosha County, still here to this day. I was a corrections officer with the Kenosha County Sheriff's Department from 98 to 2008.
Yeah, you guys are the most unappreciated, disrespected, unrecognized branch of law enforcement. Corrections gets no respect, and to be honest, they should get. I hate the whole fucking back the blue shit, when if it wasn't for corrections, the blue would be overwhelmed with shit they have no control over. So you guys, man, I'll kiss your asses all day long because you guys deserve it.
We were always called the bastard stepchild of the Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, that's a joke. And it's a fucking joke. You're the backbone of it.
You know, in my 10 years, and I was an FTO for a lot of years working there, I saw a lot of people coming and going. There were a lot of people that tried to get into law enforcement that had no business being there. I saw a lot of bad police from the road, because there were a lot of guys that would just get guys fired up to bring them in the jail, so that way we would, quote unquote, tune them up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They would get them fired up, and as soon as they saw us, they wanted to fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I get where you're coming from as far as, the attitude of law enforcement, because I've seen it as dark as it can possibly get. I've seen cops do things to prisoners that, just were absolutely terrible. And, I think the culture definitely needs to change, and you're 100% right. They need to learn what the Constitution says. They think that their word is the end all be all. I personally have been tuned up by Round Lake Police Department and Lake County Sheriff's Department when I was a kid.
Round Lake,
nothing.
Who was the cop who did it?
I don't know the guy's name. I was slammed against the hood of a car for just being there and handcuffed and thrown into a
by
holding
Round
cell.
Lake or the beach?
Round Lake Beach.
Yeah, well, give it. That was my first department.
Yeah. It's funny because I was getting ready to go to a big concert at Alpine Valley with a bunch of buddies of mine, and I got slammed on the hood of a squad car and thrown into a holding cell at the Round Lake Beach Police Department.
Over at CENTCOM, 911 Lotus. Yeah.
Yeah. I had no idea what I did. Luckily for me, I had a buddy of mine who was able to bail me out, which was, back then it was $50.
Yeah.
But, I had to go through the whole court process and it got dropped because they had nothing on me. They just wanted to tune me up, and that was that. I do have one question. The young kid that had called from Minnesota, it almost kind of seemed like you wanted to talk him out of becoming a police officer.
At his age, yes. No, he needs to go and get a real job first and then come back to the job when he's 25, 26, 27.
And I agree with that. I agree with that 100% because I had, as an FTO, I had kids coming in at like 19, 20, 21 years old who were not ready to deal with that kind of environment. And mentally, they're just not ready for that. The only thing I can say is that I definitely think that we need a culture of young kids who have an enthusiasm for getting into law enforcement, and not for the thrills, not for the the power or anything like that. I don't want to turn these kids away from going into that type of environment in the hopes that maybe they'll actually be good cops.
I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what the answer is on that anymore. I think it's just, I don't know. I don't know the proper steps to correct this problem because it's a matter of pride. Cops don't have any pride in their shit.
It's really hard because, I go to work now I work a regular job. I did not want to fight with crackheads and gangbangers anymore. So I got out of that line of work. And I go to work every day, and I'll stop at a local gas station, and I see people wearing the uniform they used to wear, and these are less like in the video that you were showing. I had physical standards as far as how I carried myself. I was in the gym every day, and I made sure my uniform was pressed and. I represented a department, and I see people going in locally that do not represent what I represented because they look sloppy. They look terrible. And I'm just like, how do you represent that badge in that way when I took pride in what I did? And I hope that the next generation of police officers, corrections officers, whatever, that they put that pride into their uniform and their ability to do the job, because the general public, they depend on them. And that's what scares me, because if we just get a bunch of, hey, I just want to be a cop, well, we're all screwed.
Yeah, isn't it great? I have no answer for you, to be honest.
Yeah, it wasn't like I wanted an answer from you. I just wanted
I appreciate that. I appreciate you. I get it. And it's just, there's no replacement and there's no teaching wisdom. It literally comes through life experience. And you're like, damn.
Yep.
Damn. So
Dom, I really
what
do.
we need is we need more older guys who actually, we need less restrictions on cops to police their own within the departments. One of the biggest things that I've experienced is you can't have the young guy can't get disciplined by the older guy, because the young guy now can go to command staff and say, well, Officer so-and-so is bullying me on the job. Then he gets written up. He's like, I'm not fucking bothered anymore. Why am I trying to mentor this fucking kid? So there's a lot of shit. You need to have your ass kicked by another cop for doing stupid shit. We need more cops who are going to step up to the plate and do the ass kicking. So that's that. But I appreciate your call.
And you know what? One of the serious things for a young officer is to get called in by IA to, basically you're being forced to tell on somebody for doing something that maybe they shouldn't have done. That's scary shit.
Yeah, they'll lie. That's where lying starts. Is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, I appreciate that. Thanks.
All right, Dom. Thanks.
All right. One more. I got to take one more. It's Friday night. Guys, we will be doing... did I just do this? We'll be doing Friday night on patrol with you guys. 7 o'clock Central, 8 Eastern.
Yeah, Mr. Izzo, this is Eric.
Hi, Eric. What's going on? We're going to close the night out with you.
Well, what's interesting, I'm working on the garage, and all of a sudden YouTube just started on its own. I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's a good omen or a bad omen. But
what are you working on?
Just organizing the garage. It's a disaster.
Isn't it amazing? How old are you, if you don't mind my asking?
I am 62.
You're old enough to be my older brother. When I was a kid, man, it was like, that stuff's like, oh, it's laboring work. You get older, you're like, I want to go in the garage. I want to build some cabinets and shit. And I want to uniform my tools. And that's some good stuff, man.
Yeah. Well, I just went through the ex-girlfriend thing, and I had stuff in storage at her house, and she's like, get this shit out of here. She got another boyfriend, and, she's married now. She's happy. We're not enemies, but I just have a crap load of pile I got to organize and figure out what I'm going to throw away and what I'm going to donate, and the tools and stuff that I'll keep.
All right. What can I do for you, though?
Well, I wanted to chime in live if possible on that.
Yeah, we're live. We're closing out with you today.
Okay. So with the 18-year-old kid that called in, my suggestion to him was, I wouldn't say not get the criminal justice degree. I have one. It's like criminal justice and counterintelligence degree is what I have. And I would say one thing, possibly start out with EMS. And
he did. Apparently, he's in the chat section, and he's not an unidealistic kid. He just, the lack of, he's like my niece. My niece is going to be 18, and she thinks, and she's starting to see, sadly, people suck in the world. And it's like, they're not the nice. I think that the young man who did call does have a background in EMT, and he's got that training. But it's like, the problem I have is, it doesn't matter what training you have. It doesn't matter what job you have. You're going to learn over time, because I was in retail and I love serving people. Blockbuster Video was one of my first jobs. And I loved being behind the counter, getting people the movies they wanted for that night. I was there for 4 years. People sucked. And my guy comes in, has a bad day. He smells like booze because his wife is nagging at home. He's got to mow the lawn in the middle of the afternoon. All he wants to do is sit in his ass and drink it. She goes, hey, go to the store, find a movie. He doesn't want to do it, and he's taking his shit out on me. I'm like, I got to fix your bad day, sir. That's the problem. That youth side we try to be there for the people and solve their problems, and they don't learn the hard way that, man, people are fucking miserable. And people are inherently selfish and not good. And how do you navigate that and still be a cop when you have power over them? That's the balance. Not oppressing people when you understand you have the power too.
Well, and that's the internal core of who you are. And this is the problem, like what he was talking about. Oh, it's a paramilitary system. We're going to learn about defensive tactics. I was a DT instructor. I was also with RAD Systems, which is an anti-abduction taught to women, and did that for several years. And he's talking about defensive tactics and this and that and the other thing. But what we're not teaching is integrity, ethics. What does the Fourth Amendment really mean?
Because that's subjective. How can you standardize ethics?
So, I had one, the question is, what are you going to do when you're the only one in the area and nobody responds and you're not even on duty? So you don't mark 1041 and all of a sudden, available units. And so I mark 1041, which means on duty. I hop in my car and I go, and I handle a riot by myself. Now I have RAs there. I call over to the other town. They got 6 cars on duty. No, we don't have anybody available. What are you going to do when you go handle a riot, by yourself?
That's the problem is now you're measuring what the job really is, because, the older I get, it's like, I would have gone running into it. But the older I get, if you did that, I would be like, what the fuck are you doing? Now you put me in, you want to be stupid and go be a one man in a riot. Now you're putting yourself in danger. Now you're obligating me to jump in when, if they're rioting, there's not a fucking thing I could do. Yeah. Let them riot. We'll deal with it afterwards. The problem is everything you're talking about is immeasurable, because it's individualized standards of what's morality, right, or ethical.
Right. So, he's talking about writing citations. Okay, so, when I was a kid, this goes back to high school days, I was kind of with the car group, the motorheads, or the gearheads, as they used to call us. You got the freaks and the jocks and the motorheads, and in high school, and we had a cop. This was in Naperville, Illinois. We had a cop pull you over. You got to bust a taillight. I need to, get out of your vehicle. It wasn't Pennsylvania versus Mims back then. You didn't have to worry about that. But, it wasn't guns drawn, but it's like, you got to bust a taillight. No, I don't. Come on out. I'll show you. The guy pulls out a hammer and busts your taillight.
Yeah, I'm sure that should happen, and there's no way to.
Try to go to the judge and say, "Hey, Your Honor, he broke it." A
lot of things happened before body cams and dash cams. I know they did.
Yeah, and so it's a $25 fine, and you pay it, because the judge's not going to believe you. But at some point, leadership has to say, "How come this guy has all these tickets he's writing for busted taillights?" And I got all these complaints saying that you got a 16-year-old kid and you pulled over his, 1972 Charger, and he's saying that you used a hammer. After a while, you got to look at it, but the leadership doesn't.
I get it. This has been, but you're talking about something that people have experienced for all the 70s and 80s and early 90s, all the ways in the 2000s. So I get it.
Throughout the late 80s, mid 80s to the 90s, when I went through criminal justice, I was actually in Afghanistan, and it was a class that was offered. So I took it. The guy that was teaching the class is a friend of mine. He's a SWAT team commander out of Terre Haute. And so, I took the classes and got the degree. But why are you doing it? When he's talking about, protect and serve. I said, okay, well, that's a good start. But why are you going to an academy? And it's good to learn defensive tactics. It's good to get physically fit. I used to do the marathons, the Rough March marathons, so full uniform, Army, full uniform, soft cap, rucksack. And it's given at White Sands, and it's 26 miles.
Do me a favor, I get where you're going. I get the passion. Close us out there. What's your definitive end thought?
The thing I'd say to him is maybe, getting a criminal justice degree, not a bad idea. But the other thing I would say is look at EMS, seeing what they got for EMTs out there, get a little street time, open your eyes and see what goes on. When you have somebody ripped apart in 3 pieces and you got to put them in a body bag, definitely it changes you. When you go to Afghanistan and you have to put sights on somebody and drop them, it definitely changes you. I can tell you that by experience. But so start out somewhere, that's fine. Volunteer fire departments always need people. And if you want to keep
I think
going on,
I think you just leave it there. Choose the wrong career. Go be a firefighter instead. Listen, I appreciate the call. I appreciate the call.
Do what you got to do and look at the Army.
Yeah, there you go. Go in the military Army first. There you go. Do that.
That's going to wake you up, and go do 4 years, and then when you get out,
then you'll be an old,
you got
mature,
a better idea what you're going to do. Plus, you got money in the bank.
Good. All right, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you, though. Good. Enjoy the garage later. All right, guys, I appreciate your time. It was Friday. We're doing On Patrol on Fridays. We're going to take a look at some stuff. Make sure you go check out Sean Paul Reyes' content. Make sure, if you like what we do here, go ahead, buy me a coffee. Go down in the link in the description of this video. There's many ways to support the work that I do. If you feel that it deserves supporting, you can buy me a coffee. There's PayPal. There's buying my book, Before the Badge, Everything You Need to Know Before You Become a Cop. Yes, I have a second book in the works. And yes, my publisher is pissed it's not done by now. You can join our Patreon. We're working on a selected members only where you have much more access to me. We go over things, your personal issues, go over cases, much more detailed. Patreon is an option as well, too. Many ways to support. And then don't forget, as a personal favorite to me, subscribe to Copville OG podcast on YouTube and the Anti-Hero podcast. You guys have a great damn week. I will see you on the next live. Be safe out there, and just don't talk to the police ever. Just don't do it. Don't.